we got a new standard banner a couple days ago, featuring Fiammetta and Exusiai as our 6 stars, and Corroserum, Astesia and Whisperain as our 5 stars. Let's talk if this banner is worth your hard-earned resources. Before we get to the video itself, make sure to support my channel by liking, commenting and subscribing. It really means a lot to me. I would also like to point out that I only talk about these operators' gameplay. You should always pull for the operators you like and want instead of listening to me. I am not your dad. Waifus and husbandos over meta any day. Let's get to the banner itself. This banner is most likely a skip banner. While both of the 6 stars are nice to have, Fiammetta is fairly niche and can be pretty hard to use, and while Exusiai can delete anything when buffed, it's still better to save for extremely strong limited banners we are about to get in the near future. Let's take a look at the 6 stars. Starting with Fiammetta, an artillery sniper whose attacks deal AoE damage. She also loses HP over time, but gains extra attack when her HP is above 50% and even more extra attack if her HP is above 80%. She also gains bonus attack speed when she has no skill active. Because of the constant HP loss from her first talent, Fiammetta will almost always need a healing operator to support her, making her a bit tricky to use sometimes, especially for newer players who do not have many strong supporting or healing operators. Fiammetta's module allows her to gain some bonus attack speed while her skills are active, and it's not really worth it unless you really like using Fiammetta. Let's move on to her skills. Fiammetta's first skill is very low SP cost, high uptime, attack and range boost. The skill itself is fairly solid, the extra damage and range can be very valuable, but the other 2 skills are much more unique and valuable, and realistically you won't be using the first skill. Her second skill fires a bullet with fixed range that explodes when reaching the maximum range, dealing large amount of AoE damage. The bullet also leaves marks on its path that explode, dealing even more AoE physical damage. The second skill can deal absolutely massive amounts of AoE damage with low SP cost. It also allows Fiammetta to keep her attack speed talent active and is her go-to skill in situations where you cannot use her third skill. The skill has fixed range and always shoots straight forward, making positioning Fiammetta correctly extremely important. And then finally, we have her third skill that bombards a fixed area in front of Fiammetta at max range. The explosions deal AoE damage and deal more damage the closer to the middle of explosion the enemies are. The skill has unlimited duration, and Fiammetta will keep shooting even if there are no enemies. This is her go-to skill and absolutely amazing skill for long stages and annihilations. However, because of the fixed targeting, it can be pretty hard to use and it just doesn't work at all in some stages. Let's have a quick summary. Fiammetta is an artillery sniper who deals AoE damage. She constantly loses HP and gains more attack if her HP is above 50% or even more attack at above 80%. Her second and third skill both deal large amounts of AoE damage with fixed range. Second skill being a low SP cost manual trigger, and third skill will keep bombarding a fixed point with unlimited duration. She is excellent for long stages, but will always require supporting operators and extremely good positioning. Overall, Fiammetta is a luxury operator. She can deal absolutely massive amounts of AoE physical damage. She can easily carry some annihilations and other long stages, especially if you can pair her with Skadi Alter. Her dependency on being close to full HP and gimmicky targeting makes her fairly beginner unfriendly, and there won't be many stages where she truly shines. Moving on to Exusiai, an anti-air sniper who prioritizes aerial enemies. Her first talent gives her some extra attack speed, and her second talent gives herself and another random ally an attack and max HP buff when Exu is deployed. Her future module will make the buff from her second talent stronger and gives it to 2 random allies instead of 1. Let's take a look at her skills. Exusiai's first skill is low SP cost auto trigger and makes Exu shoot 3 times in a row with some extra damage. As usual with the first skills, they provide less than the other 2 skills and aren't really worth using, especially after getting Elite 2. Her second skill is a decent duration manual trigger that makes Exu shoot 4 times in a row with a slight attack boost. This is Exus' only manual trigger skill, and while it deals less damage than the third skill, it is her go-to skill if you need to time your burst and you don't want to deal with timing the third skill correctly. And finally, we have her third skill, an auto trigger that makes Exus shoot 5 times in a row and gives her a slight attack interval reduction and some extra damage. This is Exus' go-to skill and deals absolutely massive burst damage. It works extremely well with attack buffs and will delete even tough enemies and bosses when buffed. Auto trigger and timing issues are a noticeable downside, but the skill is fairly forgiving with timing, and learning the timings is definitely worth it. Let's have a quick summary. Exus is an anti-air sniper who prioritizes flying enemies. She absolutely destroys low defense enemies. Her third skill works extremely well with buffs, and she can absolutely destroy bosses when supported correctly. Her DPS drops a lot when facing very high defense enemies that are very common in more recent content. Overall, Exusiai is a good operator. She has insanely high DPS potential if you are stacking multiple buffs on her. She is overall a very solid sniper. And then, at last, we'll take a quick look at the banner's 5 stars. Sadly, none of the banner's 5 stars are significant at all, and have a better or comparable lower rarity or free operator, so I cannot recommend 10 pulling. As always, thank you so much for watching. Make sure to like, comment and subscribe for more Arknights content. See you in the next video.